What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. I'm inside of a Goodwill. I am hunting for treasure. Up here on this top shelf, I see this globe, and some globes are worth money. I've sold quite a few over the years. This one, not spectacular. Pretty good price at $3.99. Maybe could have made a little bit of money. It's just not one of the vintage ones that are really selling. Strangely enough, I do find a really good globe in this video, though, so stay tuned for that. Just not at a Goodwill. Checking the dishes, checking the glassware. Lots of just newer stuff. I'm looking for vintage stuff. I'd love to find some Fire King vintage jadeite mugs again. Of course, it's been a while now since I found those, but making $1,000 on those mugs. So very pleasant to find those. Checking out another Goodwill. There's lots of stuff on the shelf, but that doesn't mean anything, especially at this one where everything is priced really high for the most part. And I see this speaker, which I'm not sure what brand it was, but it was $12.99. Just not worth picking up a single speaker for that. You got the fondue sets. I've never bought one of those. I see them all the time. I wonder if there's one that's actually worth picking up. I remember when I first started hunting for reselling, I noticed that a lot of those fondue sets weren't worth picking up because I looked them up. Just part of the researching process, but over the years I've just decided anytime I see them, I don't pay attention to them. But I'm sure there's some good ones out there. On this side, we got the toy area, lots of toys, lots of board games. Love looking at the toys. One of my favorite things to source just because so many are worth money and you wouldn't think they are. There's a Build-A-Bear plush right there, a Great Wolf Kids. I didn't look it up because I didn't think it was anything. There's one of the Abominable Snowmen from the Rudolph show, right? Plush. That could have been something. Maybe that was Build-A-Bear. I don't think I looked that up anyway. I look up so many Build-A-Bear stuff. Sometimes I just forget. And this video's at this point like 2 months old. I was looking for this stuff, just haven't got it out. Got some oil lamps here, and they are interesting. I did not see any maker names on them, so just kind of lost interest at $12.99. Glass cups up here, $1.99 a piece. Somebody wanted the whole set. That's a lot to spend on them, but I don't want them. Not for me. I don't like to sell glassware unless it's something good where I'm making a good amount of money. You take on a higher risk of stuff getting broken. It's harder to ship. It costs a lot more to ship. If you consider the extra bubble wrap, sometimes you have to double box that stuff. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of selling glass just to make a few dollars. Here's some Wilton cake pans. Talked about these on the channel before. Some are worth a lot of money. Some just aren't. Those, as far as I know, I don't think they are. We got a baseball glove down here. Nothing special. Lots of toys in this Goodwill. This is one of the Goodwills that price stuff a bit too high as well. But it's always worth checking because stuff slips through the cracks, especially toys and board games. Unless the Goodwill is very, looking stuff up, very diligent and just looking up certain items, trying to see what the true value is, which, I don't know how many Goodwills around me do that, how many employees. I think most of them don't care. They just put the stuff out, which is good. Some stuff I think they look up, more like rare, unique stuff, but I know a lot of things they don't look up. They just send to Shop Goodwill. They just have certain items like, oh, this is Barbie. Let's send it to Shop Goodwill because that means it's worth a lot. They put it on there and no one buys it, or they buy it for like $1 and you have to deal with shipping and all that. So I don't know. Doesn't seem like a good business model. I've talked about it many times. A thrift store type business model. I think if you just sell stuff cheap, you move a lot more stuff, you get a lot more people coming in your store looking for it, and you make more money in the long run. But hey, I'm not the Goodwill CEO. Maybe they see something I don't know. It just seems like when you try to nickel and dime people, they just stop shopping altogether in your store. I saw the population in Goodwills just drop off over the years, and everyone I talk to, it's always because of the prices. It's just what it is. The prices and things being shipped to Shop Goodwill and not being available in the stores. Got a lot of board games here, I'm checking out, and yeah, I see one I ended up picking up. It was sealed. It was a guess gestures. Kind of hard to say. But a vintage game I can sell on Amazon, make some money. Of course, you just saw me pick up the Nerf Vulcan. Always good to find those for $10 or less. I like to find them for. But if you are enjoying this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button for me. I really do appreciate the support, and I'll keep making them. Here's a Hunter. It's like a fan, I believe. Not a remote, just something you install into the wall. Sometimes these are worth big money. I've sold some of the Hunter switches like that before for over $100 on Amazon, but that one was just not worth picking up. Here's one of these Cricut units. I can't see the price there, but it was priced too high. I don't want to mess with it. Stuff like that I see all the time, priced $50 at Goodwill. And I think they're cheaper, at Walmart in general. You might as well just buy them new than spend $50 on one at Goodwill, right? That's what I'm talking about. People see that, then they don't want to come back into Goodwill, and you just miss out on selling anything else. It seems like every one of these Goodwill videos ends up being a rant. I don't mean it to be. I still find stuff at Goodwill. I appreciate that Goodwill exists. I just, I don't like the direction they're heading, so I talk about it a lot. Down here at this Goodwill, here's a great example. They only want $2.99 for this Axis and Allies board game. And there's another one right there on the top shelf I don't see right away, but I do end up seeing it before I leave and buy that as well. That's what I'm talking about. Getting deals like that just makes me want to keep coming back to Goodwill, right? Seeing things that are high priced and not worth anything, or that you can buy in other stores new for cheaper than what they're selling used. Yeah, that's kind of discouraging. I can see why people stop shopping in Goodwill. Lots of those Marvel figures there, $1.99 a piece. I like to pick them up at garage sales for $1 or less a piece and kind of make money doing lots. But here's some shoes, and I scored on the shoes today. Not these, just a pair of Nike shoes, $30. There's another pair they had for $30. But there's another pair they had $5, and I sold those for $90 really quick. I don't know why they didn't price the other pair up. It's just one of those things where you don't know what's going on in some of these Goodwills. Stopped at the thrift store though. Check out this globe. It's one of the vintage light up globes with the stand. It was only $4. That will get me coming into your thrift store multiple times a week. It's worth the drive. There was the old Kia Soul. Actually, I don't know if I talked about it on the channel, but I ended up buying a new Kia. Already missing the gray one. It's just went through a lot together. Here's one of these. What is it? Creature card sets. They just didn't have enough cards for it to be worth it for me to pick up. I can't remember what it is. It's kind of like the animal sets, the green box that are vintage. We have all the cards you can look at. Yeah, I just didn't want to pay $2.99. There's probably a little bit of money there, honestly. And you can see this is the same Goodwill as just in the next day. You can see a lot of those Marvel figures have sold. $1.99 is pretty fair for a kid that just wants them. But check this out, some of these Bloxel things or whatever, Star Wars for $2.99. Very fair, just not worth anything to resell. But someone's going to enjoy that at $2.99. Some of the other Goodwills, it'd price those $20 or $30. But let me show you everything I found today. Some great deals. It is that time again. I'm going to show you what I found thrifting. Got some really good buys here. If you see here in the corner, I have this globe. I got this at the thrift store for only $4. I just moved my other light and plugged it in. It's one of these light up globes. Repogal, is that the brand? Does it sound right when I say it? If you're looking on eBay for some of these standing globes like this that light up, vintage, this one's from the 70s. You're looking at all kinds of good numbers, like anywhere from 100 to all the way up to 1200 really, if you look at 3 years back. Now the one for 1200 was 32 inches, so double the size of this one, so that kind of makes sense. Rare piece. This is a 16-inch version. A lot of good comso, over $200 and even some over $300. Not something I want to ship, right? It's just too big. It doesn't really come apart, the wooden pieces. I actually kind of like it. So I think what I'm going to do is list it for local pickup only for like $300 or $400. You know, the price I don't want to sell it at. If someone comes along, wants it and pays it, I guess I'll let it go for that. Otherwise, I'm happy just keeping it there for a while. It's in amazing condition and just crazy that they only put $4 on that. If I do decide to realistically sell it, I should definitely make at least $150 on it. I've done it again. I've picked some good footwear from Goodwill. And every time I show my finds, people always say it's crazy how cheap shoes and boots are in my area. I'm not going to argue that too much, but there's plenty of other shoes that they're pricing high. I picked a pair of Nikes here that are really good, and they had 2 other pairs of Nikes priced $30. Why they didn't price these up, I don't know. It's just whoever's putting the prices on stuff really in your Goodwill, what it comes down to. You go 15 minutes away to another Goodwill, they'll put anything, Skechers, $30, $40, Under Armour, $30, $40. It's a numbers game. I'm going into these Goodwills every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and I just happen to catch the good stuff because honestly, any of this stuff priced $5, either another reseller is going to get it or just someone shopping there is going to get it, right? Usually, as soon as they come out on the cart. And that's what happened here. Actually, the boots, they were on the shelf when I got there, which is rare for me to get good boots on the shelf. Usually, you know, they're pulled out on a cart and people just grab them before they make it to the shelf. But in this case, for whatever reason, they made it. And these are Chippewa boots. Very good boots made by them. Now, I researched these and they weren't showing up the style number. Google Lens a couple pairs of them. Some of these can go for over $300 a piece, right? They're in really good condition. You see some scuffing there, but that will wipe right off with the Doc Martens Wonder Balsam. But great physical condition. Even the bottoms look like they've hardly been worn. I'm going to call this year the year of the boots, right? Because I've been finding boots at garage sales, rummage sales, thrift stores, Goodwill, just insanely good boots. I don't know what it is about this year in boots. Anyway, I'm not sure if I have any of the big $200, $300 pairs, but I can guarantee I should be able to sell these for $75 to $100 a piece. Here's a pair that did come out on a cart right before I was leaving a Goodwill. I just went ahead and grabbed them. They're in really good condition. The triple white Air Force Ones. I got the little straps back there, which honestly, I didn't know they come with straps. I guess anytime I found them, they've just not been there. And I could probably sell these for like $30, possibly $40. They are in good condition. Shoelaces are a little dirty, but that's fine. Here's a pair of Nikes I was talking about. I started seeing the prices of the other Nikes first, and I'm like, oh, $30. I did look up the $30 ones. They just weren't worth it, right? One of them wasn't even selling for over $30. But these were not marked up. And this is a really good pair. I believe I sold these before even. Possibly can get $100 for these pre-owned, somewhere between $80 and $100. I think they're in great condition. Here is another amazing pair. These are Solomon shoes. These are Speed Cross 4s. I know I sold some Speed Cross. I'm not sure which number, but again, pre-owned. These will sell anywhere between $60 and $80, and these are in really good condition as well. So I've done it again. I've scored good shoes at Goodwill. I can only imagine also what slips through the cracks when I'm not around and what people find and buy, right? But I'm going to add up all these estimated profits on the shoes and boots. It's going to be great. I decided to pick up this Cassette organizer. It's brand new sealed, it's vintage. It's surprisingly selling pretty good. More comps sold than what's listed. Saw them sell anywhere from like $13.99 all the way up to $20. So for $2.99, I just decided to pick it up. If nothing else, I have cassettes to sell. I can just combine it with that, right? This is a pretty good find as well. This was also on that new cart that came out at Goodwill before I left. $2.99. It's this Honeywell thermostat. Checking Amazon. I saw that somebody was trying to sell one for $120. I'm like, that's probably too high. It's not going to sell for that. But then I checked eBay, and the sell-through rate was amazing at around $40 to $50 for one of these new. So that's telling me it probably will sell on Amazon for at least $75. So that's probably where I'm going to sell it. Could make some great profit on this. I remember back in the day going to thrift stores and Goodwills and places, you find little new sealed things like this all the time for $2.99. And certain things like this, you just kill it selling it on Amazon and eBay. So good to see this stuff still popping out. Check it out back here. We got another Vulcan. I think this is the third one this year. And I've sold like 2 this year. Complete working. I sell them for $75 plus shipping. They don't take very long to sell. Now this one did not have this little box, which I already had a box for parts with one I bought. Luckily it had the tripod because I don't have an extra tripod. It is missing the little trigger guard here. This is supposed to be a little cap that goes on that. Not a huge deal, but I don't have that part on any of my parts anymore. Used it on the last one, actually. Also have like 3 or 4 chains, so that's not an issue. Have the darts. So really, I'll probably price it a little bit lower than 75 since it's missing the cap. Go with like $69.99, maybe it's just $65 to move it. Paid $10 for this at Goodwill, so certainly going to make good profit on it. Check out the board games, some pretty decent deals. Saw these Axis and Allies games. Figured that it'd be priced higher. $2.99. So for me, it's just an instant buy. I would say I'm putting them in the board game collection, but I'm almost 100% sure I have both of these already in there that I've found over the years. Now there's an Axis and Allies game I've sold before that sells for around $100. Also the original one from the 80s, complete and in good condition, can sell well over $100. Sold those before. These are not worth as much. I believe it's the D-Day that's worth around $30 to $40. Maybe I can sell pre-owned. And then the Europe one here, like $20, $25 pre-owned. So there's still great profit in them. They're in great condition. Looks like all the pieces are going to be in there because they're put in baggies and everything's taken care of. Usually a great sign they're adult owned. Plus I can't imagine kids playing Axis and Allies very much. Pretty complex game. Not really complex. I mean, for a kid, it's complex. And this is a good board game find as well. I picked this up in Goodwill. It was $5.99. New sealed vintage Gestures. This is selling new on Amazon for $60 with an incredibly good rank, meaning it's going to sell pretty quickly after it arrives as long as you price it competitively. So I'm looking to sell this for $60 and it should sell fairly quick, especially with Christmas around the corner. I'm also curious, has anyone ever sold a globe like this? If so, what have you gotten for it? I've seen these in the wild before, but they've been in really bad condition, usually priced high at a garage sale or something. The one time I went to a thrift store and the guy was trying to sell it for $300, $400, one of these. Probably looked it up on eBay, right? So maybe he eventually sold it, but probably not. That's going to do it for the video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments. I'll keep making it. I'm always curious if people are tired of seeing these haul videos. But if people keep watching them, keep liking the video, I'll make them. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time.